Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Just getting things set up for our conversation here from the digital news desk. Doing some multitasking this morning, but we'll get you up and running here. I do want to get the website opened. We're going to use the website quite a bit this morning to talk about the First Alert Safety Desk stories that we've been covering. Hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful morning so far. I should pop up the information on the screen so you could actually see what I'm talking about. We'll get that going here. Let me know if you're just tuning in, where you're watching from, how you're doing this morning, what you plan to do this weekend, anything you want to comment about. You can do that in the comment section if you're watching on Facebook. And we'll get things started. We want to recap the stories from the First Alert Safety Desk, and we want to do that using our website. That's the easiest thing to do. And every time I talk about these stories, or usually I should say, not every time, but usually I mention the website because that's where we put everything. And it's super helpful because you can go back and really read the stories that I was talking about, maybe in more depth, and then click on the links. So let's see here. Monday was the 5th. So we're going to go back and take a look at the 5th. We did a couple stories that day. This one about free personal protection class offered in Kiel. That was really great, talking about self-defense. This was a big story and actually still ongoing. I had Green Bay Police mention it again to me just about a couple days ago, talking about the need for crossing guards as we talk about back to school. It's right around the corner. And so whether it's De Pere, it was Kaukauna, a lot of other towns and cities were mentioning how they are in the need. And right here it says you don't need experience. You'll get the training that you need. Shifts are typically 1 hour in the morning. Let's close all these ads. Morning and then the afternoon. There's also positions for substitute crossing guards. There's a lot of options for you in case maybe you're retired, or it's maybe for high school students, college students, I should say, maybe better for a college student. But more information is there. Obviously, they're in need of that to make sure that our kids get to and from school safely. So if you want to look at that, you can. That's on WBAY.com. And, you could be an important role model in helping kids know how to safely get to school and back home, too. Another story on that day, going back to the 5th, or maybe just the day after, the phone scam that was targeting local grandparents. This one was really interesting. And it talked about how the grandparent scam is making a comeback. Maybe I could just show you the website and go back here. Right there. Tammy Elliott has done a lot of these stories over the years, and of course it comes and goes, this grandparent scam. But Sheboygan police said that they've seen an increase in phone scams targeting our elderly community. So basically a scammer will call pretending to be a relative. That's a big red flag that you've got to watch for. Law enforcement also is who they pose as, and officers of the court. So they tell you a loved one has been arrested or is in some sort of legal trouble, and they'll make an urgent request for bail. Usually the amount is like $10,000. It's usually a crazy amount of money. But this is a huge scam, and it's one that's been going around for years. I think what it does is it goes away and then it comes back, maybe when they think that people have forgotten about it, right? But in some instances, the scammer says they'll come directly to your house to collect money. Police will never do that. So that is a definite red flag. Just hang up. The first thing you want to do if you're not sure and something doesn't feel right, hang up, call that family member, make sure they're okay. If you can't get a hold of them, call police. I wouldn't even engage with anybody like that. Just call police right away, and they can help you in knowing whether or not that is a scam. So that grandparent scam making a comeback as well. Good morning, Jody. Good morning, John. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Enjoy your weekend too, John. Thank you. Lots going on this weekend. Let me know what you're doing and what you're up to. It's going to be a really nice one out there. Going back to some of these stories from the First Alert Safety Desk and from our website, I'm just going to cut to it and we'll go back and forth here a little bit. And I normally am able to make graphics. I just didn't get a chance today, but I think that's okay. We can just kind of go through and talk about it quickly. But going back to the Safety Desk tab, The grandparent scam was a big one. We talked about Hyundai and Kia, the thefts down after this anti-theft software upgrade, but it's still a thing. We've seen local law enforcement and dealerships team up basically to help put in that anti-theft software upgrade because they were seeing this across the country. Another good one was this avoiding tech shopping scams. A lot of great information there. We know that school's right around the corner, like I said, so you definitely want to be careful when you're shopping, maybe this weekend for back to school technology, especially because this story talks about how scammers will obviously take advantage of that, like they take advantage of everything, every scenario. So they're in the back to school realm right now. And so the BBB says this is what you need to be mindful of when you're back to school shopping and trying to save some money. So first and foremost, shop with businesses you know and trust to make sure you get a quality product. Obviously, you want good customer service. Don't buy from imposters. You don't do that on purpose, but there's some red flags, which we'll talk about. But the big part of all of this is that fraudsters may use the name, the logo, and other characteristics of brands that you trust. And what you need to do is just really look at the website, verify that it's the real thing. If it looks phony, even in the website, and it's not the actual website, get out of that website. Also, approach low prices with caution. If there's a company that doesn't normally have big, crazy deals or sales, and all of a sudden they do, and you're seeing an ad or something odd, chances are it's too good to be true. Some manufacturers that rarely offer sales won't just be doing it out of thin air. So you've got to do your research on a company. And then also low price products may be used or refurbished, or you might be on a fake website. So it could be either of those. Some big box retailers also know this. They allow third-party sellers to list items on their websites, and those items can be really hard to distinguish from the real thing. So I know it's a lot, but definitely just go with businesses that you know and trust. I think that's the biggest tip this morning. So just to know what you're shopping for and researching the best product for your needs or for your child's needs. Maybe you're getting a laptop, a tablet, things like that. So just something to be mindful of as you're back to school shopping. Those scammers are out there. And this does happen. It sounds kind of crazy, ending up on a fake website or buying something that isn't real. It sounds like it doesn't happen, but it really does. So we want everybody to just be mindful of that. Another story, we'll go back to our website and see what else. And I actually did a story that we're going to post about later from the First Alert Safety Desk this morning about ChatGPT. And if you go, and I'll show you a little bit from our website, the live stream this morning, maybe later on my social media, but that was really interesting. We were talking about ChatGPT and how some people are forming emotional relationships with it, the OpenAI, artificial intelligence. That whole conversation is huge, and it's happening so fast. So any thoughts on AI, let me know. Those stories have just been coming out like crazy. Another story right here, new missing child alert aimed at filling Amber Alert gaps. That launched in Wisconsin officially, so right here we were talking about that. And then I'm going to click out of this. This is basically named after 5-year-old Prince McCree. He went missing in Milwaukee. His body was found in a dumpster. And then 10-year-old Lily Peters, who went missing in Chippewa Falls in 2022, she was found along a trail, her body was. So a lot of this will update and fix sort of that gap between an Amber Alert and when a child goes missing, the criteria. So the criteria for the missing child alert right here, the child is under 18, believed to be incapable of returning home without assistance due to a physical or mental condition. Within 72 hours of the child's disappearance, the situation does not meet the criteria for another alert, such as an Amber Alert. So there it is, trying to fill that gap. And then the child is reported missing to the National Crime Information Center, the NCIC. And then the last criteria right here that we learned yesterday, this is sufficient information. It says there is sufficient information to give the public to help locate the child. So it has to meet all of that criteria. Still, just like an Amber Alert, but this has a little bit more because it does try to fill that gap. So right here, missing child alerts will be shared through the Wisconsin Crime Alert Network and wireless emergency alerts, so you'll get it on your phone. We were learning a little bit more of this after my safety desk information came out because the press conference actually was later with the state Department of Justice, the DOJ. But it says right here, it would be within 5 miles of the child's last known location between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Information will be displayed on the Department of Transportation's messaging boards. So if you want to read a little bit more about that, and we'll see what happens with that, if that gets used in the near future. We hope not, but obviously it's there for a reason, and it could help save a child's life if they go missing. So that'll be really interesting to see how that evolves. But a lot of those stories right here on the Safety Desk tab at WBAY.com. Just wanted to pop in and just quickly mention some of the stories that we've been working on this week that I've been researching, and we'll post a little bit more on social media with regards to the ChatGPT story that I mentioned. And if you have any other questions, just let me know. If you ever have a safety story idea, let me know too. We're always looking for local ideas. We're always looking at fire departments, police departments, sheriff's office pages for scams or anything that the community might be in danger of. Just let me know if you have any other questions or concerns in our community. We always want to look into our community and see what's going on. But otherwise, thank you very much for being here. Just recapping these Safety Desk stories on this Friday morning. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week.